Off, it's always great to go down to Columbia and get a win against a rival. We told our guys all week long that it wasn't going to be easy. Don't buy the lie. There's obviously the perception that's out there going in those type of games. What they had was that it was just going to be an easy cakewalk, and the coaches who've been down there before and knew that was not going to be the case. It was going to be a battle, and it was. Really got off to a slow start offensively. Coming out 3 and out, and then the 2 turnovers, and then we had another drive, ended it with a punt. And so obviously that was disappointing, but really pleased with how our guys responded. No one panicked. Being on the road, obviously every week, there's more and more pressure with the type of season that we have, but our guys responded well. And in the next 6 drives, we had 5 touchdown drives in the next 6. And so I thought that was, really, really good. I think the poise that our guys has shown this year, being in those situations, is different than any other teams that I've been around, and especially on the offensive side of the ball. The guys just showed great poise. And, we've been in that situation several times this year where maybe it gets down to it's a 1-score game, and maybe the other team has a little bit of momentum. You're playing on the road. And, it takes a lot for an offense to go 80 yards and really turn that momentum. And our guys have responded all year, put in that situation. There's a lot of confidence to take from all those situations. I think one thing that stands out to me is 3rd down. That's an area that we've really been trying to improve on as the year has gone. And I believe we finished 9 for 13, and more importantly, 7 of 9 in the second half. It seemed like every one of those 3rd downs in the second half were critical 3rd downs on touchdown drives. And, another week with no sacks up front. I thought that was really good. Offensive line's done a really good job protecting Deshaun, and obviously Deshaun does a good job of getting rid of the ball. We had 4 tackles for loss. I think one of them were when we took a knee right before halftime, so that doesn't really count. And then another one was on the reverse. Another one was on the speed sweep where we fumbled. And so I think, and there's maybe one more that was on a wide receiver screen. And so really none of the 4 TFLs were on the offensive line. So they've done a good job of eliminating negative yardage plays. Really pleased with some of the young guys that contributed in a big game like that. We talk to the guys every week that you never know when you're going to be called upon. And, I think of a guy like Trevion Thompson. It's a guy, he's been playing a good bit, but just, for whatever reason, the times he's in there, the ball just hasn't found him. And there wasn't a bigger play than that 3rd down late in the game. And he's right there, ran a great route, and Deshaun threw a great ball and executed. So really pleased with Trevion. Obviously, Deion Kane is just getting better and better. Just shows up each week. He made several big-time plays. Jermon Hopper has been consistent and made some nice plays. Then really pleased with C.J. Fuller. Wayne needed a blow, and we put C.J. in there, and he went right down the field and did a great job. So I thought that was really good. Obviously, the biggest disappointments was the fumbles, the 3 turnovers, and something that we talk about all the time. Coach Swinney talks about the turnover margin being a critical piece to winning games. And, we drill it in practice, and we'll continue to do that. I think the biggest thing is not to panic. We're not going to panic with our guys and get our guys playing tight and worried about those type of things. We just got to kind of go back to the details and fundamentals and improve on that this week and protect the ball. North Carolina, obviously excited to have an opportunity to play for the ACC championship, and anytime that you play for a championship, you're going to have to earn it, and that's definitely the case this week. They are much improved on defense from the defense that we played out here last year. That was pretty obvious when you turn on the video. Coach Chiswick has done a great job with their defense, with their scheme. They're very disciplined. They keep everything in front of them. We've got 7 starters back, I believe, and they've got a lot of experience. There on the defense side of the ball. I believe they're ranked number 19 in the country in scoring defense. So they're doing a good job of keeping people out of the end zone. I think they're only giving up about 20.8 points per game. And then also ranked in the top 20, I believe, number 19 in pass defense. So they've done a really good job against the pass. Very athletic. They run well. Linebackers, very athletic guys, cover a lot of ground along with the secondary. And this will be a big test for our offense. And it seems like this year, we've had to earn everything that we've gotten on the offensive side of the ball. I know going into the South Carolina game last week, I believe, we'd played 5 of the top 20 defenses in the country in total defense. And so it's kind of the year of the defense going around in the ACC right now, and these guys will definitely be a big challenge for us. But our goal is to go out and play our best game. We've had a lot of success and done a lot of good things this year on offense, but I don't think we've played our best game yet on offense and our most complete game yet, and I think we're getting close, and that'll be our goal to put that on display there in Charlotte Saturday night. So with that, I'll open up for any questions.
Jeff, what exactly is going back to funding? When you talk about the funding issues, I would think you'd have done that a long time ago, and can you characterize what you actually do?
Yeah, well, we do a lot of things. Whenever we go through it starts at the very beginning in our flex runs, whenever we start off every day of practice, rather than go through the flex runs, how typically you would do it, all of our skill guys have a football, and all of our coaches are walking around. Y'all have seen us out there with the boxing gloves trying to knock the ball out. And those guys are having to do all their flex runs, holding the football high and tight and in the proper position. And then, throughout practice, we chart what we call BIJs, which means ball in jeopardy. So anytime we see a ball that gets outside of the framework and it's not put in that correct position, then we track those, we grade those, and hold those guys accountable for things like that. And really just, coach it whenever you see it, talk about it. These guys will learn from it. And, it hasn't been something that's been a major problem all year. And we've just been fortunate that we've been able to overcome the ones that we've had so far. I think the worst thing that you can do is go panic and just start going crazy and all that, because then you get guys start playing timid, playing scared, afraid to make mistakes, and that's not who we are. We're going to obviously we want to be well coached. We want to play fundamentally sound, but we're going to go out and play with a lot of confidence and put it all out there. So there'll be a fine line this week, and the fact that we're going to coach it, we're going to learn from it, but then we're going to move on and keep doing what we're doing.
Some coaches, some old school coaches say that these things are cyclical, that you go through these spats of things and then eventually it's just going to work its way out and then you.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe last year, maybe towards the end of the year, we fell into the same thing. We had some turnovers, and then we went into the bowl game, and I think we had 0, and maybe Oklahoma had 5. Right there in the bowl game. So I think that can happen. It's very similar to maybe in baseball when a good hitter gets in a slump and it just it takes a little while to get out of it. And but sometimes they do come in cycles or bunches, and hopefully we're on the other end of that. And so we'll keep working on it.
Jeff, you mentioned the poise when the game gets tight. Obviously, Deshaun's a big part of that, but in general, y'all's experience in a lot of big games the last couple of years provides that sort of comfort and advantage.
Yes, I do. I think number one is coaches, the way that we handled it on the sidelines. I think our players see that and respond to that. And there was a lot of confidence, even after Artavis put that ball on the ground. We go over to him and say, hey, we're going to count on you here a little bit later, so let's get over it and keep moving. And we feel very confident that we're the better team and we're going to play 4 quarters. And but I think, the players, I think offensive line, just the leadership that you have in that group and really all those guys buying into it. And there's been plenty of situations in the past where maybe we found ourselves, kind of where we were Saturday, and it did not go the way we wanted to the rest of the game. And I think part of that is experience, learning from it, and then part of it's just the mental makeup of the guys that you have on your team. And, like you said, Deshaun, he's got that personality, kind of that even kill personality all the time. So I think that really helps. He never gets too high or too low. And I think once you continue to to do that and pull yourself out of any of these situations, there's a lot of confidence that you can, pull from in those situations. And, we told our guys before the game, hey, there's going to be a point in this game where it's not going to go well for us, and we're going to need to be the ones to go turn the tide and just stick with it and know that we're the better team and we get to play 4 quarters, and they're not going to shut this thing down after the first 5 series. And our guys believed in that, and it worked out.
I'd like some insight into a point, if you don't mind. Dabo talked about the throw to Travion on 3rd down, that we thought maybe we might go conservative, but then I said, well, we're trying to win a championship. Let's go for it. Can you kind of walk us through what's going on the headsets heading into that play?
Well, obviously that was a critical drive, and we wanted to get points out of it. And it was a 3rd and long, and we had another play called, and just at the last second, just didn't like the look they were giving us. So Coach Sweeney called timeout, and then I think we got to the play that we ended up calling. We got to that play pretty quickly. It was a play that we'd called earlier the drive before, and we felt pretty certain whenever we went empty what look we were going to get from the defensive side of the ball. To be honest, we really thought it was going to go to the boundary, to where Deion Kane and Sharon Peak were kind of high-low in the corner over there. But, when you get Deshaun back there at quarterback, he sees things very well, and he saw a look he liked to the field. And that's why I give Trevion a lot of credit, because he really was not the primary target on that play. But he ran his route. We always talk to our wideouts. It doesn't matter who the number 1 read is for the quarterback. You run your route like he's throwing it to you. And then that way when he does, you're not surprised and you're where you're supposed to be. And, to be honest, we were in empty. There was 5 guys that could have gotten the ball, and Deshaun worked his way to the field, and the ball showed up right there to Trevion on, one of the biggest plays of the year.
Is that what you call a big-time throw?
Oh, yeah. I think anytime you're making a throw from one hash all the way to the other field, about 20 yards down the field, that's a big-time throw, and there's not a lot of guys that can make that throw, but he definitely can.
How much have you looked at North Carolina? Obviously on Saturdays you're pretty involved, so you
Yeah.
haven't gotten a chance to see them throughout the year. But what do you personally know about sort of what they bring to the table defensively?
Yeah, well, I think most of what I know is, what I watching them all day yesterday and then today through lunch, from this morning through lunch. And, defensively, they're playing together. There's not a lot of missed assignments. When you look at the big play cut up, they haven't given up a lot of big plays. Kind of what their philosophy is. What it looks like to me is, they want to keep it in front of them on defense and not give up the big play, and then they want to outscore you on offense. And that formula has worked really well for them this year. And so, that's what our challenge is to be able to find a way to get some explosive plays with the scheme that they run. And, they require you to drive the whole length of the field. They've given up some yards, but the scoring, they're 19th in the country in scoring. So they're doing a really good job of not letting you in the end zone. And but it'll definitely be a good challenge. And the good thing for us is, we've played some good defenses this year, and we've had success versus those defenses. So I think our guys will have a lot of confidence. But ultimately, it's going to come down to our execution, for those 4 quarters. And that's what, Monday through Friday is all about, is preparing and practicing so that we can go out and execute at a high level. And we'll have to do that to have a chance to have success.
Doesn't being patient also play a big role in that, and being that, like you just said, they're so tough in the red zone?
Yeah, I think so. They're a defense that's going to want to make you drive the whole length of the field and, not give up the 2 or 3 play touchdown drives. And, so that they are going to require you to be patient and, have a good mix between running the ball and throwing the ball. And so it'll require us to be at our best.
Do you go very deep into Coach Disick's resume and look at what he's done?
Yeah, I think, especially because it's late in the year, we've been able to see, I guess we have 12 games on tape now, so you can see a lot of what he wants to do with the personnel that he has. We have looked at some stuff from the past just to kind of get an idea, but really each coach, with the personnel that they have at the time and maybe some thoughts that have evolved through the time. I think the best video for us are these 12 games that they've played, but we have looked back at a few other things just to double check a few things in case we maybe they want to bring something a little bit different than what they've shown this year.
I think it's now half the games this year lost the turnover margin. Could you imagine going undefeated and that being the case?
Yeah, that's what we were saying the other day. I don't think we'll ever experience a time where we'll have lost the turnover margin 6 times and won all 6 of those games, and that's definitely not the formula that we're trying to keep on offense. But I think what it does say is it says that we got a team that knows how to win, and we're good enough to overcome some of those mistakes. And that's what we've told our guys. We don't have to go out and play perfect. There's been a few years around here where we had to go out and just play just about perfect to have a chance to win the game, and we don't have to play perfect. But when you play a team like North Carolina that can score a lot of points on their side, then turnovers become even a bigger deal because you don't want to give them any extra possessions. But our guys have found a way, have been very resilient, and found a way to overcome those, and there's a lot to be said for that in order to have a special year like we're having so far.
Talk about Deshaun having an even-keeled personality. How does that help him to manage himself, given that he's been in the conversation for as many years as he has?
Yeah, I think Deshaun is the leader on the offense. He doesn't do a lot of talking, but I think his actions, the way he prepares, the way he practices, just being the same person every day at practice, being the same person each game day on Saturday. I think our players know what they're going to get out of Deshaun, and I've said it many times. He's got unbelievable physical ability, but I really think his mental ability, the strength that he has is making very quick decisions in the middle of plays and knowing where to go with the ball. And I think kind of having that even keel demeanor, it really allows him to make those decisions and not get distracted because of emotion or all the different things that can get in a quarterback's mind. But I mean, our offense obviously has a lot of confidence going out there each drive with him on the field, just because of all the past experiences.
Is it a positive that there's not necessarily the kind of go-to wide receiver with Mike Williams down? With the game on the line, you end up going straight beyond it. Davis Scott has had these plays. You got King with something touchdown passes in 5 straight games. And the fact that it's so spread out, does that make it a lot harder for a defense to kind of focus on what are they going to do on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 9?
Yeah, I think it does, and that's ultimately where we want to be. We've just been in a situation where we've had a few superstars around here in the past with, Watkins and Hopkins and Martavis Bryant, some of those guys. But I think we're getting to a point recruiting-wise where, we've got a lot of guys that can play, and I think we want to stretch the defense out as wide as we can. Horizontally and then vertically down the field and really be able to get the ball to a lot of different people, and definitely I think keeps them from being able to key on 1 or 2 guys. I think the other thing is when you do have a long year, especially a year like this where you're playing in a championship game and you're going 13 weeks, I think it helps with your depth because there's going to be certain weeks that certain guys are a little bit more banged up than others, and so you don't have all your eggs in one basket, and if that guy kind of goes down, then your production at your position goes down. And so that's the thing I'm probably most pleased with that group is, we've got 6 or 7 guys that have been rolling in there, and all of them have made a lot of plays when their number's been called. And I think Deshaun has a lot of faith and trust in all of those guys.
You haven't gone up against a lot of quarterbacks this year that can challenge point for point with your offense and Deshaun. Williams is a guy who can move the ball in that team. You get prepared in any way for like a shootout type thing. Do you have that mindset at all?
No, I don't think so. I think really our focus is, our goal is to score every time we get the ball. And really this year, and obviously you can get in second halves of certain games and the game's going, a different way. Maybe you'll slow down what you're doing offensively. But, really every time that we go out there, we want to score. We want to move the football, and we want to score as quickly as we possibly can. And, I think our guys know, our guys on offense know that, hey, this is a week. They've got a good offense on their side too. We recruited a lot of their guys. They've got great skill on their side too. And, I think our guys will want to go out there and make a lot of plays as well. But, I think our focus is really on us, and that's what it's been all year long. It's been on our execution, and if we can go out there and execute, put the ball in the end zone, then good things will happen, and that's all we can focus on.
Does that make red zone offense just even more important in a game like this?
Yeah, I think red zone's always important. I think, last week, the fact that we were getting touchdowns instead of field goals, I think that's really important. We've done well scoring points in the red zone, but really, we want to get more touchdowns than field goals than maybe we've got in the last few weeks. And I think this past week, that was really a good thing. Once we got down there, we were putting the ball in the end zone and getting 7 points. And I think in a game like this, that'll be very important.
How palpable is the excitement at the Clemson community? I know you guys kind of told it before, but from your perspective.
Yeah, obviously there's an excitement that comes with it, and we have to remind ourselves to enjoy it a little bit, because I think as coaches, you're always on to the next game, and it's something. But these are special years. I've been a part of football since I was on the sidelines at Florida State when I was 6 or 7 years old, and I've never seen or been a part of a 12-0 team, and so. These are years that don't come by very often, and so I think it's a good balance for us. We got to remind ourselves and our players to enjoy it, but at the same time, we want to finish it the right way. And I think we've kind of moved past that mark where we kind of started off 8-0, and kind of we're at that point a couple times in the past, and we're in new territory now, and this is kind of that championship mode, and so. Our guys are definitely excited. They can sense the excitement. It was great. We had a lot of fans that were here whenever we got back Saturday from down in Columbia. And so our guys are excited, and they know kind of where they are. But I think they want to finish this one this week before they take a breath and kind of look around a little bit.
Jeff, going back a couple of years, when you recruit a guy of the level that you think Deshaun Watson is going to be, and you hope it's going to translate, and you hope it's going to be as it is now going forward, was there a point when either at practice or in a game when you went, this guy's special, this is going to work, he's going to be a great football player?
Yes, that's the danger of when you recruit them from the 9th grade, especially at the quarterback position, high-profile position. I didn't think there was any way in the world that Deshaun was going to be able to come in his first year, get close to what the expectations were going to be for a true freshman quarterback. And, I think we obviously saw some stuff in high school, but you never know till you get them here. Going through spring practice, we could see some things. But for me, I would say, the first opportunity he got there in the Georgia game as a true freshman, that throw that he had to Sharon Peak, they were bringing a very exotic blitz that's kind of a 1% blitz that you get 1% of the time. And we had a special check that really is something for a junior or senior quarterback, and Deshaun got us into the check and then threw a rope on the line about 35 yards and fit it in there. And I think that was probably the first of many wows on the headsets. And then throughout all of last year, just watching him. And like I've said before, the physical talents, there's guys out there that have maybe some of the physical talents and attributes that he has. But, what you never know until you get them here is that mental side. And until you put them in a situation in a game and you see how quickly they process things. In my mind, that was the biggest thing that stood out. My first impression is, wow, not only does this guy have a lot of God-given ability, but he's got the mind to go with it, and that's what the special ones, they have both.
How has he physically changed from when you were recruiting him in Gainesville to how he is working now?
I think he's obviously gotten bigger from where he was in high school. He was really skinny in high school. And he's gotten a little bit bigger there, and I think, he's gotten tougher too. And I feel like, coming back from the injury this year, it just seems like he's even playing faster this second half of the season than he was the first half. And I think that's normal coming back from the injury and all that. He seems like he's getting faster and faster, but physically he's stronger than he was in high school, obviously, and he'll continue to get stronger. But he's maturing in a lot of ways.
You talked about Robbins hasn't played his best game yet, and when you look at the yards, you look at the points, it's sometimes frustrating that you're getting all those yards, sometimes the points don't always add up, or is that just part of the game?
Yeah, I mean that's part of the game. I think that's what we talk to our guys about. We look back at the game and really grade it. How many times was it that we didn't get points because they were just better than us, or they had a better call, or their guy just whipped us at the point of attack. And obviously you got to give the defense credit too, because they have a big part in making those plays. But a lot of times we go back and look, and it was our mistakes and things that we didn't execute. And so you just I think our standard has really gotten higher. We're in the game and just going battling in the game, and Coach Sweeney, came to the huddle and said, y'all scored 4 series in a row. We've scored touchdowns. And kind of in the heat of the battle, I didn't even think of that. You're just out there just trying to go score that series. So obviously we want to get points, but a big part of it this year when we have not gotten points have been based off of a lack of execution by all 11 guys. And I think when you can focus on yourself, it allows you to stay consistent and not play up or play down to a opponent that week. All right. Appreciate it.